I'm not gonna lie, you look more like a light-skinned black girl in the screen.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes when I take pictures of you, you look, or I guess more like a dark Latina. But you're mixed.
I am
white and Mexican.
Yes.
So yes, when I guess I see more of the white usually when I shoot you, but definitely depending on where I'm shooting you from, you come off, the ethnic comes out in you.
I've heard that a lot. I grew up in a place that was pretty white in general, and so I think everybody just made the assumption, I'm white, and so which I don't really care. I don't care, like the race stuff. I just don't fucking care.
You can actually talk to me, not the camera.
Oh, okay.
So, this is fine.
I do go. Yeah, okay. Glad you said that. So yeah, I grew up in the way I grew up. It was I've never cared about race ever, to the point where I don't even notice it most of the time.
I was like, how do you? Well, I guess I was gonna say, how do you not care about race ever? But then I'm black, so it's kind of always a thing.
Well, okay, so I know what I'm going to say is it might piss people off. I don't know, because I'm one of those people that I don't really see the color. And then when people are like, "Oh, you're one of those," I'm like, "Yeah, bitch, I am one of those. Aren't we all supposed to be one of those?" Like,
I can understand how you don't see, but I get out. Well, again, I'm black, so I feel like it's always noticed with me, almost always, or it's in the back of my mind.
I guess so. I mean, I guess it just goes to how it is when the way you're raised and all the things. Because I had I had a boyfriend that.
But can we stop? Because we just really casual started and we got into some good.
Oh, okay. Yes.
The top. No, don't.
Where are we starting?
Okay, let's at least get your name and all this stuff and all that. What's your name?
Okay, Amanda Thickk.
And where can people find you? Spend money on you? Your Twitter or your OnlyFans or what? How do you sell? What?
My favorite place to talk to fans is on OnlyFans. OnlyFans.
Uh-huh.
I have like a free page as well, so that's the best way to like find me. It's at Amanda Thickk with 2 Ks.
2 Ks.
2 Ks. I always have to say that. But I do like non-explicit stuff. I have Instagram and I have Twitter, although Twitter is still explicit. That's at Amanda Thickk, and then my Instagram is Amanda_Thickk. So,
okay. But it's basically the same thing, which is smart.
Basically the same thing. I try to keep it consistent. The only reason there's an underscore is because they shut down one of my other accounts.
Oh, I was going to say somebody else has already took your name.
No, they shut it down.
They took that. Got you.
Yeah.
So. I understand. Put this here. Technical difficulties, people. Hold on. Y'all get over it. Anyway. So you are Amanda Thickk. You are an adult content performer creator.
Correct.
What else do you want to... Let's do the basics and then we'll get back to our race background stories.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about your age or what you specialize in or like to do as far as, how do people find you? What should they Google? That was a lot of questions in one. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of questions in one. I mean, so what's my thing? What's my...
Yeah, what's your thing?
I mean, it started out with like massage type of stuff because that's my background.
Oh, massage therapy?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I actually went to school for it. That was my career for 20 plus years.
Do your hands like this? For real hands, a license, no bullshit.
This is a real deal.
It's a real
Licensed, all the things. So I massaged celebrities and I worked in like the very fanciest of the fancy hotels.
And let me say this.
Okay.
You have sense enough not to spill their business, right?
Of course.
That's how you get the real money about what you don't say.
Yeah. My clients were like, I wasn't very invested in their lives. Like I watched them go through I massaged them like through a whole pregnancy. For one of them, I was there the day that she gave birth. So these were all like therapeutic massages. I had amazing clients. I watched their families grow. It was just a really beautiful career to have. And then,
and this was pre-adult.
This is pre-adult. Yeah,
this was.
It was. And then when I ended up moving to Vegas during, lockdowns and all the things, and so I ended up.
Oh, you moved out here during the pandemic? You haven't been out here long. I didn't even know that. I thought you'd been here.
I came here from California.
Mm.
So I moved here.
They're going to hate me, but same thing. Anyway.
Yeah. The exodus of the Californians. So one of my first massage clients in Vegas was a porn producer. He's like, you know, I mean, and the last couple years I was in California, I started kind of out of necessity. I had a lot of people coming to me for sensual massages. And I was just like, no, I can't do it. I kept turning them down.
I was going to say, does the sensual include private parts? That's the happy ending?
The sensual, yes, that's what the sensual stuff is.
Gotcha.
But before that, I'd never done that. Like, my whole career was just like, no.
Avoiding that.
No, that's not, no. Yeah, and then all of a sudden I'm like, how bad is it really? I gotta feed a family. Like, let me try it. And then I was like, wow, I'm really fucking good at this. So I did well, and I enjoyed it. And so when I moved, and the client was a porn producer, he was just like, "You're already kind of living the life." I was like,
"Kind of, yeah, but
but not filming it." And then I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna try it. And then it just, boom! It just kind of worked.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is your main and only income? Yeah. That's a great thing. A lot of porn folks got part-times, which I'm not dissing, but it's a blessing just to be able to, this is what I do.
Yeah. But it's great because I could commit to it in that, you know, I try and learn. Everybody I work with, every production company, every person's style is different. It's so I'm always observing because I want to get better. I want to learn all the things to learn to be good at what I do. So,
what do you, as far as your content, when people are looking, what are people looking for when they find you? As far as your content?
I would say, well, first off, BBW. They're going to find, you know, because of the thickness, right? The MILFy thing is in there. I think sensual, because of the massage background, you know, I think so my style is a little more sensual.
Content of you giving massages?
I do. I haven't done scenes like that in a while.
But
my older
scenes sold? Do you just rubbing on somebody back?
Oh, it's not just the back. I mean, okay. No, no.
That's like you just get a regular massage.
No, because those are the sensual ones, but because I'm touching them through the whole, like everything through the whole session, not just at the end, so it keeps it interesting and turns into a really good scene. And
you don't look old, but you don't look like a teenager. So I can understand the MILF thing, but you can really ride the fence.
Well, thank you.
You look young, but like you don't look young. But it's like you could be the hot teacher, you know.
Okay.
But to me, that's what MILF is all about: the hot teacher, the hot mom next door, your mom's best friend. You know what I'm saying? Let me say this, and people are gonna hate me. You are not a MILF if you're 19 years old with a baby. I know it stands for mother I like to fuck.
Right.
But it's not talking about y'all. It's not talking about you 19, 20, whatever years. It's talking about an older or older-ish woman that's in some position of power. You know what I'm saying? Being your mom's, your friend's mom, the teacher, the principal.
Right.
That's what it's about.
I think they're just trying to tap into a market. So it's like, I'm not mad at them for trying to make their money. And at the same time, like, rock where you're at. I think this is my opinion.
I think they just don't know any better.
Just rock it.
Oh, it's a mom. I'm a mom. No, that's not the point. That's not the point. Anywho, hate me now, fight me, whatever. I don't care. I'm sorry, I just hijacked the whole interview. So how long have you been doing the actual penetration, the real adult stuff, you know, down in the XXX stuff? Right
when I started. I mean, the thing is, when I commit to something, I commit to something.
I think all the guys like to hear that.
Yeah.
Guys, girls, whoever.
I don't want to just dabble. Like, let me try. No, if I'm going to do this, we're going to do this. So
you diving in the deep end.
I did. Without a paddle of any kind. Like, I just went for it. And I didn't know what I was doing. So I did have a friend who was a mentor, the one who talked to me and was like, you should try this. So he kind of gave me a framework. And from there, I was trying to find people to work with. I was trying to but then it's like, okay, they're amateurs. So like, I don't know how much I can say on here, but like, can you stay hard if you're wearing something? Like, I had to have these conversations because I didn't know.
Wait, can you stay hard if you're wearing?
If they're wearing a condom, basically, because these are, it's just amateur. I didn't know.
Oh, you started with condoms, not
yes, because I didn't know about all the protocol. Right, so it's like, well, you're gonna have to wear something. I don't know you from anybody else, so like,
understood.
But can you perform that way if there's a camera? Like, there's a lot of circumstances around that make it hard for the male. And
let me tell you from experience, been doing this 15 years, not everybody, most everybody cannot perform with a condom. And your experience too?
I mean, some can, but it's not the majority.
It's definitely not the majority.
And then you add a camera to it, like, it's over.
But if they can't perform with a camera, and there's a lot of guys out there that just do their own stuff.
Right.
But you're not in the adult industry. You do adult stuff.
Right. That's just like a girlfriend and you have a cell phone, and that's not the same.
That's just what it is. Even though the definition is broader now, everybody's doing something. And I'm not dissing them, but if you can't perform in front of another person, well, let's just say this: male talent. See, now I'm about to go on male talent rant. Male talent is more than just having sex. That's almost the third thing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to get up, stay up. You got to be able to pop when needed. You got to be able to do the position that the camera wants. And we've had this conversation because, I rant about being the cameraman. Like if you're blocking the camera in every which way, if you're not showing off the girl or whatever the subject is of that person's production, you're not doing a good job.
Right.
Yeah. The things that good male talents have to do and responsible for, I applaud them.
I have so much respect for male talent because it's so hard. I never knew how difficult it would be as a male performer. As a female performer, it's not that hard.
I don't say that publicly because I know people going to snap at me, but yeah, y'all can fake it. You can really fake it anytime.
I mean, there's lube. That helps. Mm-hmm. So, like, my body doesn't have to have a specific function in order for the scene to work. I can just cheat with lube or something,
and honestly, if you have a good male talent, he can just steer the ship. Basically, he can really just do everything. All you got to do is be there and don't look like you're bored.
And I love sex. So I'm never bored.
Have you been bored on any of your shoots?
No, the only times I've ever struggled to get through a scene was like if the male performer was having a hard time, right? So if they're struggling, and the reasons they would struggle were like the room's too hot, so they're overheating, so we have to stop. So that's actually happened several times where it's just like because if you keep the air conditioning on, it can get really loud, and so like there's just circumstances where it was more difficult for the male performer to keep going, and so that's when I get like, okay, how much longer are we gonna be here? Flow, it's nice to have a good flow.
I've got guys who they get too cold, and I got guys that will definitely overheat, and you need to crank up the air before they pass out and got to call an ambulance. Everybody's a little different.
Yeah,
definitely. So you had more good than bad, basically.
Oh yeah.
Oh, congrats.
I've had very few, and even the bad ones weren't bad. They were just not as easy to get through, So you haven't had anybody that
doesn't take no for an answer or was a little too rough and bad communication, anything like that?
No, because I'm really good at communication, so I don't really.
What do you mean, like laying down the law before you even start?
Yeah, and then so I had one scene with somebody where great performer, does a lot of mainstream, great guy. We discussed what I was okay with, what I wasn't. Don'ts. We did the do's and don'ts. And then he still surprised me with something in the middle of the scene and I didn't like it. And I was like, what is happening here?
You gave him the face like...
I was just like, And so I didn't want to like destroy the scene and kill the chemistry and I didn't want that to happen. So the way I handled it was just more like, okay, we're going to do it, but we'll do it this way. Like I kind of tried to... just like with dancing, if somebody makes a move, if that's a misstep, you find a way to kind of get yourself back on track in a way.
So you threw him a bone. You gave him a break. You gave him a kind of a warning, but
I made a concession in like somewhat, but only
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I will be okay with this.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, because I think you're partner for the scene we're about to shoot.
Okay. So as far as like any kind of missteps, bad things with scenes, no, not really, because I just know how to communicate well. I'm not afraid of speaking up, because otherwise I'm invested in me having a good experience.
Correct.
So if I'm not, I don't really care if you don't like what I'm saying, because I still want to have a good experience. So if, and this is, it's an intimate experience we're having together. And if I'm not comfortable, I need to, whoa. And if we have to turn off the camera, whatever, I'm not going to compromise how I'm feeling or my comfortability or any of that. So in that situation, I didn't like that the guy surprised me with something that we hadn't discussed.
Yeah.
But I also, like I said, I didn't want to ruin the scene, but it didn't like totally violate what I was against either. I was just like, okay, so.
So you had or you hadn't discussed it beforehand? We
had not that. We had discussed the do's and don'ts, and then all of a sudden he surprised me with something on set. And I was like, okay, what's going on?
So it wasn't a subtle surprise. It was one like, you should ask before you try that. Yeah,
okay, I'll just tell you what that was. I won't say who was. Yeah, I mean,
it's a couple of things that like, hey, you if we haven't talked about it, you should assume this is a no-no.
Yeah.
I'll let you say it. Go.
It was like, he wanted me like slapping him and like spitting on him. And I was like, well, no, we didn't talk about that at all.
You know what? Honestly, I was assuming anal.
Oh, no. But before the whole scene, he had texted me on his way over. Can we do anal? I was just like, what? I didn't get a hello first? Stop. Hi, nice to talk to you. Nice to meet you.
Can I get your booty?
Yeah. Isn't there a process for this? So in that situation, I just thought it was funny. I was like, hi, you're hilarious. No.
Wow. Just wow.
So yeah, great experiences though.
We're going to cut this one short.
Okay.
Because we're having so much fun. We can talk about a lot of stuff. We can keep going. But I'm going to... what are we going to talk about next? Age, testing. We already kind of hit on your bad experiences. Do you really don't have many? Or many?
Not really. Because you know what? I try to... Just the type of person I am. I've been through a lot of challenges. I mean, all of us have, right? Mm-hmm. But I try not to get hung up on that kind of thing. I try to find the silver lining in everything. So even if it wasn't like the best experience, there's always a takeaway for me. So, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about where you plan on being in another year, maybe two.
Okay.
As far as the adult, will you be out? Will you move behind the camera or?
Not yet. No. I mean, I feel like I'm still growing. So I don't feel like that's the time. I know a lot of women will get into the industry and then they're kind of looking for an out.
You're not really worried, huh?
No. I mean, is it forever? I'm sure it's not. I'm already in my 40s, so I don't know how long. I don't know how long the train will go, but at the same time, I feel like there's just still so much growth to be had. You know, this last year I was nominated for an AVN, which is
Congrats.
That was very exciting to me because I'm like, they know who I am? Like, I'm on a radar somewhere? That's so cool.
After just about only a year?
No, 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah, 2 years. So, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of growth. So, getting behind the camera maybe eventually, but that's mostly because I'm kind of a nerd and I want to keep learning about like camera. What? Like you were discussing camera stuff yesterday, and I was like, what does that mean? What?
That's a good thing about this. It's a bunch of different positions and things you could be doing, and just being around, you can pick up and learn. And you don't even have to ask us. You can just, like you just said, you can hear something and then go look it up yourself and decide if you want to do that.
And I feel like I've been surrounded by some of the most, I don't even know what's the right word. I've just managed to be surrounded by amazing people in this industry who've been doing it a really long time, who know the game, who've seen the different seasons of porn and how it's changed and all the things. And why wouldn't I want to learn from them? You know, and the thing that I've noticed is the people who've been in it even longer tend to want to help you. They want to see you succeed. Like I haven't seen people holding back and being stingy with information because they're trying to keep it for themselves. I feel like everybody's very generous.
I definitely see plenty of that, but I see plenty of it with people that are like, when you're where you want to be, you give. You know what I'm saying? When like, I'm okay, I got enough of this, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I'm okay. Whether you're rich or not, you give.
Right.
You know, but when you're like grinding, like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this. If I don't get here by this time, you know what I'm saying? You be stingy.
Yeah. I think now
those people be stingy.
Yeah, and I think that maybe you'd see more of that, like if you feel like that person's a competitor. Now, like other BBWs, we're technically like, it's a kind of a competition in a way, because, you know, like vote for me, but at the same time, I don't really. War thing, yeah, but I don't really look at them that way. I think these are great women. Every time we go and there's an event, I'm like, hey, you know, it's just fun to see them. But I get most of the support and the information that helps me grow in my career from producers. So every time I'm on a set somewhere, I'm like, so what do you think about this? Or what, like, I'm always asking them for feedback, and they've always been very like, here, try this, do this, you need to do this. So the guidance I get, I feel like is very sound. And then I'm not afraid to work hard. So
that's good. All those things sound good.
Yeah, it's great. I'll just say this because I think it's funny, but we were talking about race a second ago. So my dad is Mexican, right? So he always says, he's like, I'm a Mexican, not a Mexicant. And I kind of take that as like, yeah, yes, I'm Mexican. I can do what I want to do. So I'm going to do it that way.
My mother said, don't tell people, don't quit, get fired. Like, just, you know, you're quitting don't quit before you try. You know, oh, they're not going to want me or whatever, you know. No, walk up and take that rejection and keep moving. Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah, but it makes sense, because then you're not walking out on something for yourself.
Yeah, and then you'll never know if you would have actually got that because you decide to not even try.
Right. So for me, I'm in a position where I'm like, I'm just trying to grow. I'm trying to, you know, put myself out there as much as I can, get as many scenes, work with as many companies, and until it just doesn't work anymore, and then fine.
So you're a great example of what a lot of people don't see, or they claim they don't see. You know, you're happy with what you're doing. This is what you want to do. You're feeding yourself, you're feeding your family.
I love it. I know, you know what I've noticed is people, when I told, for example, when I told my family, one of my brothers was like, well, are you okay? Like, did your other career not work out? And it's kind of this assumption that, like, if you go into this industry, it's because you didn't have any other choice, or something bad happened and like you felt pressured. Now, I was in a situation where I was like, I do need to provide for my family. I'm not going to say that wasn't a part of it, but it's like, I could have put out some videos, made some money, and stopped. But I was like, I got a taste of this, and I was just like, this is amazing, and I love it.